All right, thanks for tuning in today, guys. We're working on this old Craftsman tractor. If you get a chance, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, the like button, maybe even hit the bell for notifications. Go crazy with it. All right, let's get to it. So like I said, the early 2000s Craftsman. Give you kind of the model number there if you're into that. So first thing we did here is we got the hood popped up so we have access to everything. And behind here, I can reach into our starter solenoid and I can test the posts, but I can't really see it that well. So I'm going to quick pop off this gas can, or excuse me, the gas tank, and we'll kind of move that out of the way. Alright, so there's our gas can, gas tank. I don't know why I keep on calling it a can. So just take these bolts out here. Okay, so like I said, turn the key, no power. So the first thing I want to do is test the starter solenoid, which is this guy right here. There should be constant power coming to the starter solenoid. And there is. When I do this, we hear no click or anything. So the other thing I want to test is with the key turned, is there's a single small wire, comes in right here, and when I turn the key, nothing. So what should happen is when you turn the key, this should power up, and then on the inside of the solenoid here, there's a little metal flap, and when it gets that little bit of juice from the ignition, the flap folds over, finishes this connection, and sends the power over. So what we could do right now, and I'll show it just for fun, although we just diagnosed the problem, I do know it is the ignition switch. But just for fun, if you're new to these sorts of things, if you don't have time to get a new ignition switch, or maybe your solenoid is bad, you can always jump it over. So you touch this post, which is hot, and you touch the other post at the same time. And I wasn't expecting it to actually start. I figured it would turn over a couple times. So my ignition switch is bad, so I'm not able to turn it off. So I had to just choke out the air intake. So now we know what's wrong.
And why didn't you use your hand?
So my hand doesn't get burnt in case there's a backfire coming out the carburetor there. Good question. So like we said, we diagnosed it is the ignition switch. Diet Mountain Dew, the Go Juice. So we want to take this whole ignition switch out. I don't know if you can look under here, but there's a wire harness that simply pulls off. Let's jiggle it a little bit. Wire harness is off. And we want to kind of keep that laying out so we have easy access to it when we get our new part in. And then this ignition switch. Okay. Boom. Got our ignition switch out. So there should be a part number on here if you're into just ordering these online. We've got a couple stores in town. Now I know a lot of guys can pull these apart, and if you got a soldering tool, you can get in here and fix it for, almost free. But for my purposes, this whole thing is about $9 at the local store, so we're just going to go grab one of these, put this back in, it'll click into place, and hook up that wiring harness, and boom, we'll be back in business. So that's kind of the rundown on the ignition and diagnosing the ignition.
So you said you just don't want to pull it apart because you don't have the strength?
Oh, you punk. And my son is obviously running the camera, so. All right, that's it for this project. We got brand new trees we planted, so we got to go get them watered.
Bye.